Each person has a moment when they suddenly grow up and become more silent. Whether it's good or bad, they choose to endure it quietly. When you need to be strong, don't hesitate, so that next time, the one who gets hurt won't be you. I will learn to understand, to see through, and to remember. If I no longer act spoiled, it's not because I've matured, but because I no longer care. If I no longer get angry, it's not because I'm forgiving, but because I no longer bother. If I no longer cling to you, it's not because there's someone else in my heart, but because your indifference has pushed me away. If I stop reaching out to you, it's not because I've changed, but because I've realized that my presence doesn't matter. The Master says, when the road can no longer be traveled, turn back. When love cannot be found, let go. Don't chase after things that don't belong to you. Sometimes, keeping distance from others isn't because you don't care, but because you understand they aren't meant for you. The Master teaches that some words are just meaningless gossip, not worth holding on to. Some emotions are merely fatigue of the soul, not worth troubling yourself over. Don't be too sensitive, thinking too much only hurts yourself. Many things, the listener remembers, but the speaker has long forgotten. Thank you for your coldness, as it has cut off all my escape routes. Your indifference extinguished my desire to share. Now, there's nothing special I hope for, no one I rely on, and no one I trust. The people and things that exhaust me, just one more glance at them, and it becomes my fault. What's wrong is wrong, no need to dwell on what if. Life can't always go as planned, and not every choice is the right one. Even if we could start over, who can guarantee the outcome would be different? In this world, nothing is inherently problematic, but we burden ourselves with worries. The path you're on is the best one, and everything that happens is the best arrangement. So, look ahead and keep going, don't look back. The Master says that no one can control your emotions except you. Everyone has their own story, but they've learned to control it. Don't get stuck in the past, it's already gone. Don't wrestle with the present, you still have to move forward. I've seen through many people, and I no longer feel the need to expose the truth. I dislike many people, but I no longer confront them easily. Age brings clarity, and the more I grow, the more I realize that some things aren't about being solved, they're about being let go. If our thinking isn't on the same level, there's no need to conquer each other. If our understanding differs, there's no need to argue. If our values don't align, there's no need to walk the same path. The Master teaches that no advice from others can truly awaken you. Only experience, loss, and regret can truly enlighten you. What convinces a person isn't reasoning, but the wall they hit. What wakes someone up isn't preaching, but the challenges and hardships they face. People can't always teach others, but situations can teach people with just one lesson. The Master says, your kindness will often be forgotten by others, but your mistakes will be magnified. So when people speak ill of you, don't be sad. In the eyes of those who don't like you, no matter how well you do, it won't matter. When you're criticized, don't be upset. To those who don't understand you, all your efforts will seem wrong. No one can hurt you unless you allow them to. The Master also teaches that not everything needs to be shared. What you consider heartfelt words, others might see as a joke. Some wounds don't need to be spoken about, not because you don't feel them, but because you understand that speaking or not won't change anything. Some pain isn't a lack of care, but an understanding that you must heal alone. When there is distance between two people, it's hard to return to how things were. There's no such thing as reconciliation being the same as before, only old problems being brought up again. When enthusiasm runs dry, all that's left is resentment. True disappointment doesn't come with tears or loud arguments, it comes with brief words and cold stares. My words no longer move you, and I no longer care about your affairs. There is a type of hurt called indifference, and a type of disappointment called leaving. The Master teaches that in any relationship, if you get along, stay. If you don't, part ways. There's nothing wrong with that. When you understand too much, endure too much, the pain naturally increases. Don't say I'm cold, because I used to be kinder than anyone else, but that kindness was taken for foolishness. My patience was mistaken for weakness. We're all living our first life, so no one needs to indulge or please anyone. The Master says that the best way to treat yourself is to let go. Don't let the past make you suffer, it's already over. Don't let the present hurt you, you still have to live. Cherish those who come into your life, and let go of those who leave. Don't chase after what you can't catch, and put down the burdens you can't carry. If something doesn't fit your eye, erase it. Let the things that are drifting away go. What doesn't belong to you, don't force yourself to hold on to it. Do what you want to do, listen to the sounds you want to hear, and meet the people you want to see. If your heart is no longer there, maintaining contact is pointless. What can't be held on to, reaching for it is unnecessary. What others can take away from you was never truly yours to begin with. The most beautiful love is not about disturbing each other, but also not giving up on each other. Give yourself some dignity, and give the other person some space. Keep a balanced distance, not too far, not too close. True love comes from willingness, and when it's over, there's no need for regrets. No need to talk about debts of gratitude, just remember the meaningful encounters. Don't say that I've changed, because I haven't changed, I've simply understood more. How others treat me is how I will treat them. Those who approach me, I won't refuse, those who turn away, I won't force to stay. Relationships between people are like mirrors. You give me distance, I'll give you space. You give me respect, I'll respond in kind. Be someone who isn't easily hurt. If you give me an inch, I'll return a mile. Set your boundaries and principles. When it's time to get angry, get angry. When it's time to refuse, refuse. When it's time to be strong, be firm. That's what will make others respect and value you. We only live once, so why should we always try to please others? The Master says that, on the path of life, the one you should thank most is yourself. You didn't fall in the face of adversity, you ignored gossip, you overcame illness and loneliness on your own. You walked through fire without needing anyone's light because you became your own sun. The Master also says that the world of adults requires decisiveness and clarity. Better to be cold-hearted than get dragged into unnecessary troubles. When someone values you, don't hesitate to accept it. When someone doesn't, don't waste time holding on to them. If you like someone, pursue them. If you get them, cherish them. If you lose them, learn to forget. Being decisive makes life smoother and more manageable. From now on, if my messages go unanswered, I won't send them anymore. If a relationship no longer wants to continue, I won't try to maintain it. If communication becomes a burden, if effort becomes belittled, and if sincerity becomes redundant, no matter how much I may feel attached, I will learn to gradually let go. The Master says, don't hesitate to refuse others. After all, those who easily make things difficult for you aren't good people. If you give in too much, they will hurt you even more. If you tolerate too much, they will take advantage of you. Those who make you uncomfortable are the ones you've indulged too much. The Master also teaches that those who are loved and appreciated are often the independent ones. When they're with others, they don't seek attention. When they're alone, they don't pity themselves. They can always stay calm and objective, handling their own matters without interfering in others. This is the highest form of self-cultivation. The Master says, what makes a woman fall deeply in love isn't how wealthy a man is, but his sincerity, responsibility, attention to detail, and the care he shows. Someone who truly loves you will care for your emotions, stand by you in joy and sorrow. Someone who sees only you in their eyes is worthy of your complete love. Such a person is the one you can entrust your life to. The Master also teaches that happiness lies in the simplest things, having a home to return to, someone waiting for you, and a meal to eat. Small things like a bowl of hot soup or a light always left on at home aren't trivial, they are the deep happiness that many search for. Happiness isn't in the past or the future, but right now, in the present moment, in the meal in front of you, and the loved ones around you. The Master also teaches that being human requires knowing when to be soft and when to be strong. You need to have a heart as compassionate as a bodhisattva, but also the strength of a lion. You must know how to not hurt others, but also have the aura of someone who cannot be easily hurt. If no one is there to protect you, learn to keep kindness in your heart, but with a touch of sharpness for your own protection. The Master says kindness is not wrong, but it needs to be accompanied by strength and boundaries. Too much concession without principle will make people think you have no backbone. Too much forgiveness without limit will make people think you can't distinguish right from wrong. The way others treat you is often a result of how you've taught them to treat you. Don't become someone who is overly kind without limits. I need to see your attitude before deciding on my actions. The Master also says, why does someone who once loved you deeply become cold? Because when a person gets something, they often forget what it was like to long for it. Back then, your playful antics were cute, your jealousy was charming. But after the novelty wears off, your silence becomes wrong, your tears are wrong, even your breathing is wrong. It's not because you've changed, but because in the eyes of someone who no longer loves you, everything you do is wrong. One day, when you become someone else's treasure, the one who didn't appreciate you will realize how precious those once annoying things truly were.